Welcome back to Celebrity Radio, part 2 of our exclusive interviews today with Charlotte and Daniel. We've already spoken to Daniel Koek, and now we turn our attention to the beautiful half of the duo. Charlotte Jaconelli is the lady who stole our hearts on Britain's Got Talent with Jonathan. She's now back on tour with Daniel, and she's got a really, truly amazing voice. Their new single is All I Ask of You, and it's out now, and she joins us on the phone. How are you, love?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
It must be marvellous being you. I've just been on your website, and to have such a gift and to have beauty, do you realise what a blessing that is?
No, I just post with a picture and hope that it turns out all right.
I think you've done very well for yourself. I mean, there you were just idly on YouTube, minding your own business, and then you went to the ITV site and it said, do you want to audition? You did, and you did very well, didn't you?
Yeah, it's so funny that the fact that there was no thought process that went into even applying for the show, and it spiraled into all of this. I mean, it's great. I love it.
What's amazing about your trajectory of success is that it was sort of the odd couple with Jonathan, but underneath it was incredible talent. And I think that's what that show is. Just to have talent isn't quite enough, is it, on Britain's Got Talent? They're looking for a backstory.
Well, exactly. And I think that's the thing that is kind of the struggle with the show that I found as well. Like it was hard work because it's not just, you're not just getting up and singing. You kind of have to give yourself and your life and everything about you up to the nation, which is scary. But it's I mean, it kind of comes with the territory, I suppose, in the industry as a whole. It's just you kind of just have to be ready to bare your soul.
Yeah, and I don't see why you should. That bothers me as a guy who's relatively private. I believe when the front door closes, it closes. I shouldn't have to talk about my private life to do what I do. But with that show, they were desperate to find a story with you and Jonathan. Did that become obtrusive at some points and offensive?
I wouldn't say it was offensive. I think sometimes you kind of had to put a stop sign up and say when a question was too much, but they were very understanding and would always kind of, if you say no, they're aware that no means no. So it was okay in that sense. I mean, I guess not lucky, but it was kind of, a lot of it was kind of focused on a lot of trauma that had gone on in Johnny's life, and I was kind of there more as a support and an onlooker to say when I believed that something was too intrusive. And I think having each other there and having each other's back is what kind of made it bearable, I suppose, to be able to talk about that kind of thing and not get too emotionally involved in it, I suppose.
I spoke to Jonathan just before Christmas for his new album, and he hasn't got a bad word to say about you. I mean, why it lasted, it was great, and things change, things move on, and that's that. I think, again, people were looking for a bigger story, but that's just the business, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, there always needs to be some kind of scandal, I think. But no, I think with myself and Johnny, it's just got to the point we both wanted to do such different things, and it wasn't fair to either of us to make the other one do something they didn't want to do. So it was the right time for us to kind of go off and do our own thing.
I'm an ugly ginger fella. I notice you've got this Daniel now who you're performing with, who's trying to be, you know, the stud muffin and all that. Would you ever perform with a ginger ugly person like me, or do they have to be attractive now?
Of course I perform with you, and I'm sure you're not attractive.
There you go. I mean, this new single is wonderful. It's called All I Ask of You, which we've all heard from Andrew Lloyd Webber, and it's a gorgeous song. How technically difficult is it? Because you don't seem to struggle. You make it sound so effortless, but it's sort of an Olympics of songs, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the knack with singing is to try and make it sound as effortless as possible, which takes a lot of singing lessons to acquire that. But I mean, like Phantom as a show is a massive thing. I think this song for us was actually just kind of an enjoyable song that we changed up to make it more interesting vocally for us both, I suppose, so that it was different from the show version. But it's yeah. I mean, if you sing a song enough, it becomes easier as you go on. Daniel
just spent a year in Les Mis. Could you be tempted to be Christine in Phantom?
Oh, that's one of the dream roles. Yeah, that's what I've always wanted to do musical theatre. It was what I was training in before I went on to Britain's Got Talent. And I kind of took a U-turn into recording music. So yeah, it's definitely something I would like to do.
I've given up on the dream now. They've only offered me 2 roles. One was a giraffe in The Lion King, and the other was Shrek. So I thought, well, we'll leave that. It's not nice, is it? Listen, congratulations with this new single. Where do you go from here? I mean, the tour, and then would you like to do a solo tour, or are you intending sticking it out with Daniel and making a go of it as a duo?
We kind of have both said that we don't want to officially stamp a duo name on what we do. I think we're just both kind of enjoying singing together and doing our own thing at the same time. So it's a bit of both really. I think we'll carry on doing gigs together and shows, but I'd also like to continue doing my own thing.
Well, you've got a brilliant talent and you should be applauded for it. Great to talk to you, Charlotte. Let us know later in the year when you're back on tour and we'll do a proper face-to-face interview. Congratulations. All I Ask for You is available now. You can find out more by going to Charlotte Jaconelli's website, and also for Daniel Koek as well. Good to talk to you. Thanks, Charlotte.
And you too. Thank you very much.
Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some really interesting people who have got mega talent. A man who I'm delighted to talk to is the star of Les Miserables. He's also got a brand new collaboration with Charlotte. Daniel Koek has been doing the business for years, and I'm delighted to say he joins me on the phone now. How are you, Daniel?
Hi, how you doing? I'm very well, thank you.
It must be great being you. I mean, there you were in the West End playing Jean Valjean, probably the greatest role in the history of musical theatre, and you nailed it. And when I look at your website, there you are trying to look all deeply attractive. I mean, is this for you the dream life? I mean, you're able to do your concerts, and then, of course, you're able to steal the hearts of people in these musicals.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, musicals has been kind of my bread and butter for the last 5 years, and it's obviously what I trained in, and I have been and still am very passionate about musical theatre. And being in Les Mis and playing Jean Valjean, it's a life-changing role. And historically, people that have played that part over the years have gone on to have very successful solo careers. And I was just very keen, obviously, to kind of follow in their footsteps, so to speak.
Yeah, and it's not easy, especially when you're following people like Alfie Boe, and you made it your own. And I suppose that's what you've got to try and do. You can't copy any of them. You've got to try and recreate that role, which is almost impossible, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you're always going to be compared to, your predecessors in terms of coming into that particular show. And, there was a lot of kind of stigma about being so young and could I do it? And I just think I wasn't going to let, the creative team or the public kind of give anyone any reason not to, let me be there and enjoy it. So, after a year of doing it, I'm pretty sure I've proved myself. So.
I actually saw you doing it about 9 months ago, and it was incredible how you transform. And of course, through the show, you have to get older with the chronology of the show. And it must be very odd to look at yourself in a mirror when you come off and see yourself as a 172-year-old man.
Yeah, I mean, look, the design and, all of that element to the show of him aging and getting older it runs like clockwork. It really, there's a great team of people behind all of that, and it is, and you have to encapsulate in your character, the aging process, because of course, he starts as a convict after spending 19 years in prison, and he ends up an old dying man. So, it's quite a journey for him throughout the show.
How much of a test is it on you personally? Because let's face it, at the end of the show, the entire cast are dead and they're the lucky ones. It's a hard slog. It's 3 hours of proper theatre and proper drama, isn't it?
No, it really is. And I think, it's a real test of your strength and stamina and vocal ability. And, it takes its toll on you physically and emotionally as well, because it's not the most uplifting show in the world. I mean, it's got quite a good message at the end of the day, but it's, portraying all of that, animosity, because the first 20 minutes of Valjean, he's an animal, he's an unrefined person. It's every man for himself, and that's a character that I really had to kind of dig deep to find, because most of the roles I've played today are kind of, astute leading men. And, he goes through this massive transformation, and that animalistic quality that he has is there throughout the whole thing, and his strength as well. That scene in one of the final scenes where he's kind of carrying the body of Marius through the sewers. You do that 7 times a week, and you feel it.
I'm sure you do. And great for your CV, and what a triumph to be in it for that long. And now it's about you, and I notice you've built a huge fan base through that show. The ladies find you a nice bit of trouser, don't they?
Well, so they tell me, yes.
Have you seen The Phantom of the Opera? I'm a bit like him. You're Jean Valjean. I'm like the Phantom, where people see me in the streets to sort of run in the opposite direction. So I've never...
I'm sure that's not true.
Yes. What's it like being attractive? That's what I'm asking.
What's it like attractive. Well, I think you've got to play to your strengths, don't you? I'm trying to be very subtle about our answers.
I don't have any. That's the problem. I don't know what mine would be, to be honest.
You just have to, I guess, especially in this industry, like it's all about, it's fickle, but it's all about how you look and present yourself. And, being a solo artist, it's about defining yourself as a brand and marketing yourself to your target audience and that kind of thing. And I have very good stylists and Photoshop is a marvelous thing. Let's just say that.
Some ladies have said in the past that I have an enormous personality, but other than that, there's not a lot to really scream about. You know what I mean? There you are. Now, where do you go from here? I mean, you've got this new single out, All I Ask of You, which is beautiful and perfectly done with Charlotte, formerly of Jonathan and Charlotte. People will know her from Britain's Got Talent, and that's amazing. You're going to be doing some live shows together, and then I guess it's a chance for you to make a name for yourself, which, judging by your Twitter followers, isn't going to be too difficult.
Yeah, well, hopefully. I mean, we're going on tour in the spring. In May, we're Thursday the 7th, we're in East Grinstead, Friday the 8th, we're in Bishop Stortford, Saturday the 9th, we're in Wimborne, Dorset, and then Tuesday the 12th, we're in London at St James's Studio. So that's just initial tour dates with our show called Light Up the Night. And then I trip off to Australia. I'm doing the Adelaide Cabaret Festival, which is where I'm from, later in June. And then we get back, we're going to recommence with some dates in the autumn. So, yeah, we're keeping quite busy as a trio, because Jai McDowell from who won Britain's Got Talent in what year? 2011 is also joining us. So yeah, we're excited about getting on the road and showing our stuff.
Daniel, you're a massive talent. I'd like to talk to you again when your new album comes out, which I know will be this summer. Let's talk again.
May the 4th, that's when it comes out.
Well, may the 4th be with you, and
May the 4th be with you.
there you are. It's going well today. Daniel Koek, congratulations. All I Ask for You is available now. You can get it on YouTube and see it there, and see them live on tour. Just put in Charlotte and Daniel and the tour dates will come up. Good to talk to you.